Yeah.
Welcome back to the KO Boxing Show. Haven't we got a big show tonight? None other than former NRL superstar, 3-division world boxing champion, Anthony the Man Mundine. Welcome to the KO Boxing Show.
Hey, Pete, what's going on, man? Good to be on here.
Great to have you on, Anthony. Anthony, let's go over your football career because you were the highest paid player in the NRL. You played State of Origin. By the time you were 25, you'd played 135 games for St. George and the Broncos. At your mid-20s, you were really ready to take the game to the next level and take it by storm and probably end up playing 300 or 400 games. What made you change your mind and say, no, I want to play boxing now?
I felt that at the time I was getting discriminated against. My play on the field was better than anybody. Statistically, I was the best 5'8" for a few years there, and I was best 5'8" for a few years, and I just wasn't getting my just dues. You know what I mean? And I knew I was going to boxing. I just didn't know when. But when the ARL at the time, it was a boys' sort of club, and because I was very vocal on political issues, concerning my people, it really didn't hold me in good stead, for that boys club. But I was the best by far, no problem.
No, we remember you were a superstar in the pace. You were kind of running it from one end to the other. They couldn't, like a Speedy Gonzalez type of situation. But let's.
I mean, I could create. I could score. I could finish. I was a bit of everything, and I was exciting to watch. That's one of the things that was very appealing to the eye, just like I was in boxing. I am in boxing, so people are, they get entertainment out of watching me.
Correct. Let's go then. You turned professional. I remember you got to 10-0 and you brought the Hollywood back to boxing. Before that, we had Kosh Jazoo, but he'd fight on a Sunday morning. It'll be at a pub. We'd have to go to a pub and watch it. But you brought the bright lights back to Australia, and you were doing the pay-per-views and giving everyone a go. And I remember your 11th pro fight, you were 10-0. You went to Germany to fight Sven Ottke, who had 10 successful defenses, was the IBF super middleweight champion. And he was a gunfighter, and we're all going, Anthony's going to do this, he's going to do it. And I remember it was a Sunday morning, and at the time, I was promoting, I was good mates with Keith Ellis. He had something going at his pub because everyone organised this breakfast thing where you're going to have breakfast and then we're going to watch Anthony fight. I couldn't get to Keith's pub, but I went to another pub close to the city. And you're fighting the fight of your life. This is the way I saw it. You're fighting the fight of your life. You're winning the fight, but maybe travelling, first time fighting a guy like that, you'd only had 10 fights, you didn't have a big amateur career, you're kind of fatigued and you got caught. That's the way I saw it. How did you feel?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly hit the words on the head. I didn't have enough experience to compete with 12 rounds, 12 fight, like world title sort of pace rounds with a champion. And he didn't have 10 defenses, he had 12 at the time.
12,
so he had 12 defenses. He was seasoned, very seasoned fighter, about 300 amateur fights. I just come from rugby league, man, 10 fights in. And if people will look up his recent interview, and people, but when I did lose that fight and I got caught and I got stopped, knocked out, you see, a lot of people were, that didn't like me, was dancing on tables and just, pretty much making fun of me. But the recent interview puts all that to bed with Sven Ottke, with the Ring magazine interview he's done last year. There was 10. There was 10.
He said that you're the best fighter ever fought, which was a massive. Yeah, he said you're the best fighter he's ever fought, and that's a massive coup from Sven Ottke to say that about you, Anthony, because you travelled from Sydney to Germany, and you were only a pup. I mean, I think you had 6 or 7 amateur fights. It was your 11th pro fight. He had his 12th defence, as you said.
Yeah, like I was saying, there was 10 categories, and I won 7 of them of his interview, and I was like the best fighter he's ever fought. I was the fastest fighter, the best defense, the best feet, the best boxer. So many categories. Sorry, someone's trying to call me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
He handed me the reins. So, you know, in my 10th fight in, I fought a guy, one of the best in the world, and he gave me that respect and tell him the truth, and that I was his hardest fight ever. I mean, it was very humbling to hear that.
No, for sure. And then in 2003, you fought Antoine Eccles and you won the super middleweight world title. It was a massive achievement for you. And then obviously you were right in the game. You were world champion. And in 2006, you fought Danny Green and you beat Danny, which was a massive effort. And then again, you became a 2-time world champion when you defeated Sam Solomon in 2007. Let's go over that fight because Sam Solomon had fought Winky Wright and gave him nightmares. And that night, you dismantled Sam Solomon. You were a different fighter, and no one had done that to Sam Solomon. He'd just come off the Contender where he placed third, and he was giving everyone nightmares. How did you feel about that fight? Was that one of your best performances against Sam Solomon?
Solomon, I had a very disliking to Sam because I fought him early in my career, probably my 6th, 7th fight.
Yep.
It was a very close fight. It could have went either way, but I think I nipped it by just being a bit more accurate. He probably outworked me, but I was a lot more accurate than him. Early in my career, but I really had a hating for him because when I fought every fighter I fought after I fought him the first time, he was like a prostitute. He used to go and sell himself and be their sparring partner and give them inside tips, and he's supposed to be my countryman, and wanting to support.
Yeah, there, Chuck? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sorry,
yeah.
Yeah, he was my countryman, and we should support each other in Australia, even if we're competitors. But when we're going overseas to fight for titles and whatnot, you should support each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Mikel Kessler, the list goes on. And I just really, by the second time I fought him, I just really had a dislike for him. Of what he'd done in the past.
Yep.
So I wanted to go out and kill him, and that's what my main mindset was, and that's what I did.
Let's go into your fight with Daniel Gill when you won the world middleweight title. That was a great fight, and you won that fight. How did you feel fighting Daniel Gill? Because he is a very skillful boxer, and he's a great guy as well.
Yeah, he was a good young kid. You know what I mean? He's a good young kid. He had a lot of talent. I didn't know much about him, to be honest, when I first fought him. But that he was a very highly talented kid from the Olympics, from the Commonwealth Games and whatnot. A great amateur. So I was always going ready and prepared for a fight. But it was a tough battle. That's the first fight in Brisbane. It was back and forth action. Again, I think I'm a very accurate fighter. I'm very, I seem to land very clean, very accurately. Most of my shots, I don't waste any shots. So I think my accuracy proved the point again to get me the victory. But it was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it was. It was an epic fight. And then in 2011, you fought Alvarez for the WBA junior middleweight title. So you're winning world titles doing it the opposite way. You were actually losing weight, where other fighters actually go up in weight as they win world titles, Anthony. You were doing it the other way, where you were actually losing weight and coming in.
Yeah, because of my, hold on, I'm a bit of a problem with this lighting.
Okay.
1 sec.
We could still hear you.
Yeah, because I was, 1 second. Yeah, let's try a little bit back on.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit of footballer. I was pretty buff, and I was playing at 86 kilos. My lowest I played was 84. My heaviest was 87, 88. So my frame, my frame was very rough, and
Yeah.
I had to come down to, lose a lot of weight in making 76 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
then
making 76 kilos. So in time, my body basically transformed, and it just started to become a fighter's physique, and I can get lower and lower. I reckon I would have stayed in boxing, started boxing when I was young. My heaviest weight would be middleweight, and my lowest probably would maybe welterweight, super welterweight.
Because you fought right up to cruiserweight too. You fought Danny Green the second time at cruiserweight. So you've flown through the divisions, which is old school type of stuff. You fought in 4 or 5 divisions.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic, especially at that level, to be fighting the guys you're fighting. It's a credit to yourself as well, Anthony. We haven't mentioned the Shane Mosley fight. He was one of your idols. Tell us about fighting Shane Mosley.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, man. I love Mosley when he fought De La Hoya. Twice when he fought De La Hoya back in them days. I was actually a fan of Mosley. I still am. Great guy, gentleman. But I just wanted to get a chance to prove my skills against top fighters like that. And I knew I could win. I could do something spectacular, and that's what we went for.
In 68 fights, Chuck, you've had close to 60 fights. I mean, 48-10 on BoxRec is your record. And that's, I mean, for a 20-year career, it's been a massive effort for you to be competing at boxing for 20 years. There's not many fighters fight for 20 years. It's not the sport you go for 20 years. And
you got to remember. You got to remember. I was a NRL or ARL representative for 6 years. You know what I mean? So I started, and I was as a junior. I only had 4 amateur fights as a junior. When I was 16, 17, I had 4 amateur fights. So my body wasn't beat up. I was like Bernard Hopkins when he came out of penitentiary. He started when he was 24. He went on to fight until he was 50, 51. You know what I mean? My body and my mind, I feel really great right now. I'm about to shock the world again. You're about to hear about it.
Oh, good stuff, Chuck. Chuck, let's go over some other fights. I loved your fight with Clotty. Even though you lost to Joshua Clotty, the heart you showed in that fight was unbelievable to keep coming up and going at him. Lesser fighters would not have done what you did against Joshua Clotty.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I lost too much weight going down to the welterweight, and I drained myself too much. I didn't have the resilience as I would normally have. So anything light I would get caught with on shin, or it'll daze me or put me down. But I'm a fighter, man. I want to get my shield on my back, and that's what I looked at.
Now, who was the fight that you wanted before and you never got? Was it the Mayweather fight? Was he the guy if you had a dream fight, would that have been the guy that you wanted to fight?
Yeah, definitely. Floyd's the best, man. He's the best. He was the best of our generation. And just to say you got in the ring with him and try to showcase your skills against him would have been an honor. You know what I mean? I think that's why I was trying to drop so low to try and get that fight. I nearly got the chance. I'd lose at a time when I was in a position to maybe jag a fight like that. You know?
Yeah, because I remember it was very close. It was nearly close to getting done. You needed to win a fight, then you fight Mayweather. It was always going to happen. And I thought stylistically, that would have been the fight for you. I think you would have had a really good showing with Floyd style-wise, because that type of style suits you to fight against.
That's the thing. That's the thing about boxing. You know, styles make fights, and Floyd's proven he's the best because he can beat any style. But his style and my style the matchup is good for me, strategically, and you know, he's probably the best fighter of our generation. So I just would have loved to. Maybe I wouldn't have won, but in my mind I would have, because as a fighter you have to believe and continue to believe.
You're an old school guy, Anthony. You give all the Australian fighters a fight, which means you give them a payday, from Shannon Taylor to Danny Green to Sam Solomon. We can keep going on and on. Look, who's the best Australian fighter that you've fought? Because you fought everyone. Who's the guy that you think was the best fighter, or a number of fighters? Who are the best guys that you fought that were Australians?
Well, they all had the great talent, man. We have some good talent down in Australia, and over the years. But probably my hardest fight, probably Green and Gill, probably my two hardest, because Green was just so. First fight was, you know, I looked like a cruise for it, but I had to be on my toes and be ready, because I knew he could change it at any given moment.
Yeah.
The second fight I fought, I won as well, but obviously the weight was in his favour, and we wanted to grab and hold. You know, I would love to do a trilogy and end it. You know, even at our age, I feel good if he's up for it, I'm up for it, and just give the fans, you know, that, you know, to see victorious in the trilogy. But and Gill was just a skillful guy, and he was very awkward and very, what can I say,
cagey.
a lot of punches.
And what about Jeff Horn? Jeff Horn, you didn't sort of get enough of
well,
him.
that's the thing, man. I never got enough, because they drained me to the weight that I went and fought Green at nearly 83 kilos.
Yeah.
And then they drained me back down to 71. They wouldn't meet me at 72 and a half like I asked, because I believe that's my best weight, and that's the weight they fought Zarafa at. They didn't want to go and drain me more. Then I had to do a second weigh in. That fight really wasn't fair. You know, in all hindsight, but I think Horn's rough and tough, and got the. I don't think he has much skill, but he's got definitely the awkwardness, the unconventional style that gives people problems, and he's got the heart. So he'll be dangerous. He's a dangerous fighter, but as far as fighter and skill wise, he's not on my level.
Yeah, Anthony, before we wrap up the interview, COVID-19, it's wrecked a lot of the sporting industry. It's divided people as far as wearing masks and not wearing masks, and how people are doing things with social distancing. I mean, a lot of the NRL footballers didn't want to get vaccinations for flu shots, and they were going to say, if you don't get vaccinated for a flu shot, you won't play, and just trying to pressure them. How's COVID-19 been for you?
I mean, I feel it's not coronavirus, it's controller virus. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They want to control the masses. They want to set a precedent that when it happens next time, everyone knows the go and knows the protocol. Because there will be a second wave coming. When we don't know, but it'll put us under, pretty much mass arrest. But I'm gonna fight for my freedom. You know, they can't take my freedom away from me. God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me my freedom. The free will of what Allah gave me, I'm never gonna surrender that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ain't no government, ain't no nobody but Allah, but God can change that.
So if a vaccination was to come, there's no way you'd take a COVID-19 vaccination against the virus, or you don't even believe it exists?
No, I don't believe it exists. I truly don't believe it exists. Maybe there is a virus, but there's so many viruses, coronaviruses. They're just like the common flu. You know what I mean? They close the world down and call it a pandemic when this thing hasn't even killed more people than influenza. I haven't even killed more people than the common flu. I mean, come on, you gotta put the dots together. You gotta put the dots together, and you gotta really research on what you've been told, and research what you put into your body. I mean,
Yeah.
mercury, aluminum, all this stuff they're poison. It's poison. I mean, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm anti-poison.
Okay. Okay. Well,
You
let's
know
go
what I
on
mean?
to I was going to go on the next subject, Anthony. Racism 20 years ago drove you away from rugby league. You didn't want to be around the people that you thought weren't giving you the go that you deserve. Have we changed in 20 years? Do you still feel the same way? I mean, I saw Black Lives Do Matter. Do you think we're still racist in Australia, or do you think we hide it better? Or
not so much. The people in general, the people are all right. You get your crackers that they can't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's embedded into their psyche. It's embedded into their way of thinking in their life. You know what I mean? They take it as a joke in Australia. But
Yeah.
racism is always going to exist. But people are starting to wake up now. People are starting to see the plight of the coloured people all around the world.
So you feel more comfortable now, Anthony, with the fact that we've progressed in that 20 years that stopped you with transferring from rugby league, doing your own thing as a boxer. Do you feel we're better now and we're more alert of the racist issues that exist?
I think that's what we got to do is continue to educate people. I mean, I see people talking about all lives matter. Yes, of course, all lives matter. Everyone's in Islam. Taking one human life is like taking the whole of humanity. So every life matters.
Yeah.
But in this Western system that you're being oppressed and you're being injustice being served against you time and time and time again with the coloured people in America, with the coloured people in Australia, the natives in America, like with the coloured people all across the world. You know what I mean? The justice system ain't the same. You know what I mean? It's like if a black guy does a crime and a white guy does the same crime, the black guy's looking at 10 years, the white guy's, suspended sentence, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to change, mate. And all we can do is just keep trying to educate and educate and educate. That's all we can do.
No, I'm hearing you, Anthony. And look, I think you're a natural politician, and that you've got to really think about that once you finish your career, get into politics for your people, because they need someone like you. You stand your ground, you say it the way it is, you're strong-minded, you don't play the percentages. So, I mean, I think you're going to become a natural politician and a natural leader for your people, and they need it. So please do that after your career's over.
Yeah, man. Maybe I'll get some time. I just want to uplift and empower my people. You know what I mean? I want to uplift and empower my people. I'm just currently working on the mindset of a champ with my boy Timmy Duggan from Darwin. So anyone look up mindset of a champ, Mundine mindset of a champ on Facebook, or mindset of a champ.com. And I'm trying to empower my brothers, empower my sisters, and really tell them my story and how I got through all this adversity and all this troubles that we face.
Yeah. No, you're most loved, Anthony, even though sometimes you probably don't think that you are. The people all admire you and what you've done, and you're a proud Australian and proud Aboriginal Australian, Aboriginal person. I don't know which way you want to look at it, but we respect you as a person, and thanks for coming on the show and doing what you do for us, and keep the great work up for your people as well, because you're a terrific leader. I think you're going to make a great politician, and just keep going down that path.
No worries, brother. Thanks, Pete, man. I'm just trying to keep fighting. I just speak the truth. I fight injustice and stand up for my people. and any injustice from any people. So let's keep it real, man. Let's keep it 100. So that's what I'm always on.
Thank you, Anthony. You take care, my friend.
Thanks, my brother. Take care.